Okay, morning guys, welcome to day 4 of the week. Hope you all had a good time doing your aerobic sessions last night. Some really cool scores coming through, like the splits. If you can give us the splits for all the kilometers that you're running, that's actually really helpful for us, and it'll be good for you as well, because you can see smaller improvements within the block. But I won't bog you down with that. Let's just get this one out of the way. It's breaststroke warm-up today, so make sure your warm-up area is clear and that you've got a drink, 2-hand, ready to go. We'll start with 2 minutes of breaststroke skipping. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, I'm trying to. Oh, we'll wing it. So someone asked me about this the other day, whether the arms matter, and I've said before, it just means you've got a bit more work being done. So it's good to keep that consistency. Make sure your toes and knees point out on every jump. If your knees are coming in, it's what you consider faulty biomechanics. It's going to lead to bad habits when you run, when you land. Just make sure you're aware of what's happening at all parts of your body. Right to the end of the first minute.
Loads of people checking in.
Good stuff. Good to have you with us, guys. Hope you're feeling awake enough. Okay, stop. 10 off, quick drink. In 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, coming to the end of the skipping round. If you want to vary it up, try and get more height on the jump and then relax. Okay, so breaststroke theme. You've got frog bridges and streamline hinge to start. The frog bridge, lie on your back, bottoms of your feet touching, and lift your hips up. As you do so, push your knees down to the ground. Try and get as much of a squeeze in your glutes as you can. If you start quite generous with your feet far away from you, and try and bring them closer as you feel more comfortable. Then hips up and knees out and down. So make sure you get your hips up as high as you can. Just play it safe with how your groin feels. So if it feels kind of odd and between your knee and your hip, just keep your feet far away and focus on squeezing your hips. Streamline hinge. So RDL in streamline basically. Hands over your head. Hinge forward, big stretch in hamstrings. Try not to hook your hands if you can. If you're really struggling to keep your wrists and elbow in front of your nose today, then go for it. Main thing is that you're starting to push range whilst keeping that flat back position and sitting back, so your shoulders should go over your toes and your knees stay behind them. Then you're into C march. So C march, everyone should be comfortable with this one. Maybe just forgotten. So stay as tall as you can. Turn your foot away from you, so it's pointing, the bottom of your foot should be pointing at the wall to your left or right. And then come reverse it. So do that 6 times. Side on V. Your knee doesn't travel too far in front until the end. So it's the difference between a rep like that and that. If you do it in front of a wall, it's quite an easy way to make sure you're doing it right. To begin with, So if you start off hitting the door, start practicing that turn out, then you lift it up after halfway. And again, you can still use the door to make sure you don't lean. So rather than turn into it, stay tall, into wall to streamline. So this is the lat stretch that some of you have done on your swimming and screening. So wall sit position, hands back to back. So 6 times through, trying to get the back of your hand, the side of your pinky to touch the door above you. No gap between your lower back and the wall. Try not to use momentum to go up slowly. And again, don't interlink your fingers. So if you can't make it, if this is the best you can do today, you know you've got some extra work to do around your lats. If you interlink and pull, it's you pulling, not your lats being stretched. And then scat press up. So remembering again that the main thing you're trying to warm up here is your serratus, so the muscles in the front of your ribs. So push as hard as you can at the top to create a stretch on your back and a pull on your front. And then try and get your spine as high up as you can. So try and get this bit of your back as close to the ceiling as possible. And then 6 star jumps to finish. So again, plenty of space. You're going to leave the ground high as you can on every rep. So just to finish off, bounce in between if you haven't got rhythm. So start, so 1, like that. So then grab a drink while I talk you through part 1 for today. It's just before 10 past, and it's Thursday, so we're looking at static core strength. So you're going to need your body for this one. You've got straight left arm plank into a press up plank, right straight arm plank into shoulder taps to finish off the round. And then part 2 is lower body, so you're going to need a table or a chair just to lift your foot up onto. So grab a drink, straight left arm plank to begin. Give you 10 seconds, then we'll go. So 3, 2, 1, go. So make sure you're pushing your hand down deliberately from this position. So whichever variation you go for, whether it's hand down or elbow down, you're pushing, trying to create a deliberate downward force. Make sure your wrist is under your shoulder, your hips stay facing forward the whole time. If you start to struggle, split your feet some more. Just make sure that your hips stay facing the same direction. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 15 off, you're into press up plank. Again, if your wrist or your elbow start to bother you during straight arms, you just drop straight into forearm. 2, 1, go. So even with this, maximal hip engagement. So instead of just waiting for the round to finish, deliberately think, push your hands down, keep your abs tight, squeeze your hips. Relax a little bit if you start to fatigue. So if you feel like you're not going to make the end of the round, just concentrate on your hand position. 15 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. Right arm next. So I have to be mindful of my left wrist today, so it pays off for you guys to be mindful of little bits and pieces as well. So we need you to get through this first week in one piece so we can adapt next week if we need to. 2, 1, go. So feet on a stable surface as well. Makes it a lot easier to concentrate on what matters the most. Now just over halfway. If your elbow starts to shake uncontrollably, then you can't get it to stop. Just finish off in forearm. Again, make sure you're lifting your hips up, so like someone's pulling you up from the middle. 2, 1, relax. And shoulder taps to finish. Couple of seconds. 2, 1, go. So, quality over quantity. If you do 6 taps, but they're really slow and deliberate, it's going to be far more beneficial for you than if you rush them like this. That's too short a time frame. You may as well just do a normal plank and concentrate on pushing. If your shoulders start to fatigue or blow out, we feel most of the work being done around here. Just go for a sub in a plank march. So you can do a couple of reps of this, maybe 2 apiece, and then swap into the shoulder tap. And relax. So 30 seconds off, we'll go again. Make sure you take drinks in this time, guys, really small sips. With 15 seconds. Don't spill anything. So I wasn't side a blooper. Okay. So left arm side plank. In 2, 1, go. So annoying. It is really annoying when your wrist gives out. But just carry on, go forearm. And really concentrate, make sure your elbow's directly under. If you start to blow out a little bit, you can move it further away and relax. Another 15 seconds and reset the clock. 10, 3, 2, 1, relax. Press up plank. And we'll go again in 3, 2, 1, go. Fifteen seconds left. If you start to blow out, so again, based on how you feel for the rest of the week, couple of seconds rest. So 3 seconds out, straight back in. Make sure you hold the best position that you can, and relax. So right arm plank. So we'd much rather that you took 3 seconds of deliberate rest and then try to go back into that optimal position. 3, 2, 1, go. So for example, if you lift your hips up during a press up plank, you're not conditioning your body to hold a position. So in 45 seconds, if you spend 6 of it recovering, that means you're still spending well over half a minute in a solid place. Your muscles start to condition themselves, it gets easier over time. So little quick adjustments. Another 10 seconds left. 2, 1, relax. Shoulder taps to finish off round 2. Ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm going for 2 of each. Probably the most important thing with shoulder taps is not swaying side to side. So no matter how tough it is, not rocking, even a little bit. 2, 1, relax. If you need feedback, put your water bottle on your back, put a small cushion on your back, anything that's going to remind you if it falls off, you must have moved somehow. So 15 seconds after the rest before we get round 3. Okay, last part of part 1 today. 3, 2, 1, go. So manage straight arm if you can, up until the point that your elbow starts to shake and you can't stop it. That's why the pushing down is probably the best way to get rid of that. So if your elbow starts shaking, and you try and push deliberately, it still shakes, that's when you have to stop. That's mainly for those of you that are hypermobile. You know who you are, we've probably spoke about it before. Oh man, I'm defeated today. 3, 2, 1, relax. Press that plank. In 3, 2, 1, go. Two, 1. To get deliberate rests. It's a good habit to get into because it lets us know that you're practicing the right habits. 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, relax. Right arm. Drink if you need. Make sure your feet are secure. Does make it quite a lot easier if you haven't tried it already. 2, 1, go. So that's halfway. 2, 1. If you imagine that you've got a belt around you and someone's lifting you up, it means you get a more even distribution of the work. So 3, 2, 1, relax. Just think about that. Even if you lift your own shorts up, you'll start to get an idea of how much more work you can do with your hips compared to your shoulder. Shoulder taps to finish off part 1. In 2, 1, go. So I'm going to stick with press up plank march. Justification we've said before is that the whole focus of the exercise is anti-rotation. So you do all that work to fatigue your main joints around your trunk and you're going to try and hold it steady when you're tired. So you get 15 seconds left. So no matter how tired you get, don't let yourself rotate. If you start to rotate, take that 3-second gap. We're finishing in 2, 1, relax. So a minute and a half break. Round 1's done. So part 2 is lower body focused. Make sure you've got a chair for your rear foot elevated squats. You've got wall sits either side of that. Of course you can grab that chair. That's going to be too high. Okay, so you'll find out the hard way. If the surface is too high, your best bet is to get something that's no higher than your knee. If it's too high up, you won't be able to go as far, even if it's by a little bit. So you go from a wall sit, 45 seconds on, holding that position, no gap between your back and the wall. You've then got split squats on either side. So relax your back foot. I normally say foot down so you can push. It's much safer in this environment to go flat. So you go as low as you can. Push yourself up. 45 on the other side. And then split squats to finish off. So squat jump. So you can either alternate from this into that. You can do one leg, recover into the middle. Or you can alternate one into the middle, so here, other one, I'll key you in the middle of that. So, end of the rest. We're going to get going with wall sit in 3, 2, 1, go. So make sure your hips are in line with your knees. If you've got someone that can throw a ball to you, you can ping it back. It's quite a good distraction. The hard bit to get around is not relaxing. So if you shift your hips up a little bit, you'll start to work a different part of your quads. So if you come to here, it's a bit easier, but you'll hit a bit higher up. 15 seconds left. Control your breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. So the hardest part with the split squats is probably making sure there's enough cushioning to protect your ankle. So 3, 2, 1, go. So foot, knee as low as you can, stay upright. So if you haven't done these for a while, posture is the main thing. Keep your shoulders behind the middle of your thigh, so that all the work you do is coming from this lead leg. Push your heel down into the ground. Control the tempo. Try and make sure your knee doesn't move. It's always pointing in the direction that you're facing. It's a couple of seconds down. 5 seconds left. And relax. Swap yourselves over. So with foot position, you want to do a little hop to figure out where your front foot should be. Wherever it lands is probably right. 2, 1, go. And depending on how you feel this morning, you probably feel a bit of quite a lot of stretch in that back leg. That's okay. If it's distracting, too distracting, or it forces you to lean, just stop at the point where that begins to happen. So as you go down, if you start to lean, just hold there, and then push. We have 15 seconds left. We're in controlled tempo. 2, 1, relax. Split squat's finished. So you alternate squat jump to finish off the session, the round. Just probably start from the ground. Go in 3, 2, 1, go. So you're alternating split squat jumps. If you're trying to set up, make sure your feet are hip width apart. Make sure you control the landing. Use your arms to get you going. Try and stay upright. Foot position, heel and toe pretty much in line. So you can get a massive jump on each one. I'd much rather your feet were in the right place so you learn how to push than just mincing from one jump into the other and not controlling the landing. 5 seconds left. And relax. So 30 off. If I break it down a bit more, there's a big difference between having your feet this far apart and alternating. If you think about relevance, your feet don't need to push off a wall or off a block from here. So make sure your back knee is in line with the middle of that front foot. It's going to be a lot easier to push. Round 2 is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So into your wall sit. Keep your hands off your knees as well. If you push yourself down, your upper body's trying to support you. Mistakes to walk away from your lower body. If you make a little tiny adjustment, you're still going to work pretty hard. "15 seconds left. Every time you adjust, you might start to feel the work traveling down from probably up at your hip, down towards your knee. 5, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Into split squat. So there's arguments for and against doing that in a wall sit. As long as you don't stop, keep working, commit to the session. 2, 1, go. Best situation to be in is a controlled 2 seconds down and 2 seconds up. Normally, I would tell everyone like go up explosively, but that's what you've got the jumps for after this. So this bit of the session is about trying to tire your legs out as much as you can. Time for one more rep. 3, 2, 1. Swap over. Make sure the stuffing in your chair is consistent. If it shuffles around, fix it, or it'll affect the setup in your next reps. So, 3, 2, 1, go. So from the bottom, you drive your foot into the floor. Makes it much easier than just thinking about standing up, because you've got intent. So imagine you're driving off the wall, albeit with one leg, pushing the blocks away. Time for one more. 3, 2, 1, relax. And again, it's going to challenge your opposite leg's mobility during that exercise. Split jumps in 3, 2, 1, go. So from the ground, as much push as you can get. Swing your arms. And think about the foot position. So if you watch, I'll do this one twice. It's much easier than that. You get much more bang for your buck. Much more effective. 5 seconds left. And relax. 30 off, one more round. Make sure you're taking drinks. So it's the main thing. Start thinking, if you need help with the setup and the jumps, send me pictures, send Lee pictures, so we can correct it if we need to. But the quicker you fix that, the more you're going to get from the session. 2, 1, go. With wall sits again, the better you can distract yourself and control your breathing, the more you'll get from it. Your body becomes much more effective at clearing out hydrogen ions that interfere with contraction. Your lactate clearance becomes more efficient. Last 5 seconds. And relax. So big deep breaths at a controlled pace will help you the most. 5 seconds into split squat. We're ready for elevated squat, sorry. 2, 1, go. I'll go to these as well. If you take a breath at the top, breathe out at the top. It should feel easier, the burn will be there, but last 6 seconds. Relax. Switch sides, I'm going to set up this way. So you can see my foot, my setup. Which one was I walking? That. So 3, 2, 1, go. I'll be uneven, but you won't. So if you're standing here, make sure no matter what you do, your hips and your body stay flat onto the camera. If you start to wobble, adjust your front foot. And from the bottom, really aggressive push down through the floor. You want to probably be as close to the seat as you can be without losing position. So if you go too close, you'll have to lean because there won't be enough room. 3, 2, 1, relax. So whether your foot's too far in front or behind, you'll figure that out by how much you find yourself leaning. If you can stay bolt upright, I'd say you're in a great place. So as much power as you can put into each one of these jumps to finish the session. 2, 1, go. So let's get really challenging. There's a big difference between a rep that finishes that way and that. That kind of jump is going to have no impact on your starts and turns. Being able to do a decent jump while you're tired is using your arms at this point. It's just a way of introducing yourself. Obviously the work's not coming from just your legs. 2, 1, relax. So, plenty of drink. Try and get your breathing back down to normal. So there's actually quite a lot of thought that has to go into that part of this session to get it right. Main one being breath control. If you're breathing erratically, you're going to start to burn up a lot quicker on the wall sits. Joint control, so if you're doing the split squats wonky, your hips go all over the place, you start working things that you shouldn't be working. And then coordination and deliberate practice on the jump. Like I said, you can see it, we see it on poolside, we can see it in competitions. If people jump like this, there's no point jumping. If you don't leave the ground as high as possible, it doesn't transfer because your brain isn't sending the signals quick enough, especially when you're tired. So this is like your safe environment to practice that skill. I'm going to run through the cool down. If you have a foam roller, I had a question this morning about the fronts of shins as well, so I'm going to address that too. So everyone doing static stretch like this, with like our swap. If you have a foam roller, just imagine you're colouring in every part of your muscle from your knee to your hip. So forearm, hands on the ground, one knee down as well. And then as you go up and down, just bend your back leg. If you find any bits that feel particularly annoying, stay on that for a bit. Just keep bending and relaxing. One thing that I've always found for the last, I don't know, 7 years, whenever I do that bending thing, I get a bit of a pop in the outside of my left knee. It's never bothered me, I've never had a knee injury. You might just find those things happen. If they do, let us know. But don't worry too much if it's not interfering with your training. Switch sides. And again, just see whether there's a difference between legs. If there is, it could be because of the running. If you're doing a cyclical exercise and one leg feels more tired than the other one, and it came up during the session, so the single leg squats, foam rolling is definitely going to help you because it's going to mean that you recover evenly. You know, I hate oversimplifying things, but at least that means you've taken care of everything in the best way that you can. Hamstrings, so block stretch. If you have a roller, and it's hollow, put your hands under it, pull it into your body, and then try and straighten your leg. So I think Ruben will know what this one is. Anyone that's seen a therapist will recognise this as flossing. So you might find that when you do static stretching, you're mainly focusing on the soft tissue. So you're trying to create a change in its length by stretching it. These kinds of activities, if your nervous system is resisting, it could be a neural restriction. So these kinds of activity will address that. So you might find you get big improvements in your hamstring flexibility from practicing this. That's why I keep telling you static isn't enough alone. You have to do it, but it's not going to be worth very much if you don't address these things too. So me, it doesn't really bother me down by my knee, but right up high behind my hip, it's pretty aggressive. So if I address that, that should impact my hamstring mobility. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me know. Message me and we can talk about it. But it's these sorts of things that are going to put you over the top. So, into hips. We've the classic one again. So organise your core. Make sure it's straight from shoulder down to knee. And again, make sure you can still squeeze your hips. If you go too far forward, you'll find it really hard. If you imagine the hamstring raises, glute bridges, RDLs, deadlifts, anything we've done where hip activation is a big part of it, or the sensation of a big hip squeeze is a big part of it. If you start here, you should be able to feel it a lot. As you sink forward, you might lose it. That's where you want to stop. So if I switch sides, so there I can squeeze it quite a lot. Feels like a lot of quad stretch happening. Moving forward, still quite a lot. Make sure you've got padding for your knee if you need it. So on this side, I can sort of squeeze my hip quite a lot compared to my left. So that's something that I need to be aware of in my training. It's definitely something you might come across, and again, chat to us if you find that it's not the case, because it means that as you start to increase your hip range, you might lose a bit of hip activation, and you don't want that, or you'll lose the sensation of it. Into lats. So I find it harder and harder to justify not using this if you've got one. But the higher your hands are, the more you'll feel. Push your head through. Start with your hands wide, and then push your hips to the side. And then just mess around with it. There's no strict, if you look at your sheets, I think I've recommended 90 seconds of stretch. So mess around with it during the 90. Just know what you did. So if you always do a hip shift to begin, and then a chest rotation, and then a rib push. So hips to the right, twist to the right, force your ribs to the middle of your trunk to the left, and then switch sides. So right lat, hips are going to the left. I'm going to rotate to the left, and then push my ribs. So that's that. It looks the same as the hips, but it's the intent. So I'm trying to push that part of my body. It's the middle of my lat, so that's where I'll start to feel it a bit more. Into chest. I'm going to show you the foam rolling one again. So if you put your hand over your head, if you imagine I was on the floor, your chest goes from this bone here up into your shoulder. So you want to make sure that the roller goes in line with that, goes across the middle. So arm up to the left, so make it a cross with the foam roller. If you lie on that, and then try and lift your arm up. Again, because you're not stretching tissue, it becomes more about trying to establish whether it's your nervous system. So move your arm around, lift it up off the ground, switch sides. So again, lie on the floor, just pop the roller under you, and try and put as much body weight onto that single point as you can. You can go IYT, so an I reach into a W. In fact, just doing IYTW should feel like it's doing a lot of good around your chest. Just moving your shoulder blade around. It's going to start helping you find range of motion in places you didn't know you might have had it. So all I was doing there is lying down and then just wiggling my shoulder blade around. And then we'll cover shins today because we'll be running. So if you want to foam roll it, you can. Just make sure it's lined up on the outside of your shin. This. And then wiggle your foot around as you do it. The more pressure you can put on, the better. What's a better sign of how that muscle's feeling? If you can't manage that, it's too painful, you can use your thumbs. So I think the majority of people are going to start here. So you find the muscle, you find your shin bone, the middle of your shin, go to the outside, so you find the muscle, the squishy bit, and then lift your foot up and down and just wiggle it round. And as you do that, you just push your thumb into the muscle. So if you find it's too tight, some of you probably is, then use your other hand to push down. So my thumb's there, push it in as you do the same thing, and then just work your way all the way down from here to the bottom. It's every direction. If you find that it's quite sticky, stay there, go up and down, and then do the same thing with the inside. So if you go from the middle of your shin again, try and get your finger under that bone. So that's your tib anterior, those that are doing sports science, etc. Tib anterior, and you've got one behind the bone, which helps stabilize your ankle. So if you find that your ankle feels a bit iffy on runs sometimes, incorporating this, just do a minute on each muscle. It's a really effective way of keeping your lower body healthy with all the running that you're doing. So don't ever push too hard. You want to keep about 7 or 8 out of 10 for discomfort, and let your ankle movement do all the work for you. Any other questions, let me know. Like, it's really helpful. I probably would not, I think I covered that in week 1 or 2. I probably wouldn't have covered it again if someone hadn't asked. So ask and you shall receive. And challenge for today. This one I'm quite excited about, to be fair. See how everyone gets on with it. I think it's sprint. I hope it's sprint challenge. Okay, so the idea of these is that it's the distance is set relative to your main event. So if your main event is 100, you're going to do, or 50, you're going to do 3 100 meters. You take 60 seconds of rest per 100 that you run. So if you run 100 meters for this challenge, you're going to take a minute's rest in between them. If your main event is 400 plus, or you can choose which one you want to do it based on. The idea is you're going to go as hard and as fast as you can. Just to see, we were doing a lot of this slow control bodyweight stuff, and then we're doing some really good aerobic work outside of these sessions as well. It's good just to have a bit of fast twitch, like raceability in there as well. So they're quite short relative to what you have been doing. Sprint, 3 lots of 100 with 60 seconds. Middle, so 3 lots of 200 meters with 2 minutes in between. And then distance, 3 lots of 300 with 3 minutes in between. And then rest and recover. Any questions, let us know. If you're sharing it online, tag the club, hashtag squad name, and then hashtag respect for that one. And that'll do. I don't know if I can say any more in this video, but let us know if you have any questions. I really appreciate you all checking in. Hope you have a great day. And from everyone else at Guildford City, thanks for watching.